Before starting the story, if you do not know the meaning of Pet Sematary, then I will tell you. It means a zoo where dead animals are buried. According to the story, there is a town in the US called Ludlow. A pet cemetery has been built here. Then there is a very big and difficult path, which is in the middle of the jungle. There is a very big ground in front of it. But this is not a normal ground, but evil. That is, evil. There is evil here, or some bad power. If a dead animal or human being is buried there, he comes back alive, but not as he was. In fact, because of the evil of this ground, he also comes back evil. Now in a novel, the main character of this story, whose name is Jad, tells us more about the evil ground. He told us about his youth here, when he found out about this ground himself. According to him, the pet cemetery was built by a tribe here a long time ago. It will protect you from the evil power that roams in the jungle. That is, the same evil power that is occupying that ground. And because of that, that place is evil, which he also makes the people buried here do. Then whether he is a human being or an animal. Now the path ahead of the pet cemetery, which was a jungle, was closed, so that no one goes to that evil ground after passing through this path. So that we can understand that the pet cemetery is a good place, while the evil ground is very bad. Now Jad also said the famous line of this story, which was, "Sometimes dead is better." That is, sometimes it is good to die. Now why did he say that? We will know this in the story. After which we come to the story of Jad. When he was young, he married his friend, and he was living with his family in this town, Ludlow. But now he was preparing to leave this town, because his dad told him to do this, while his mom didn't want to. Now Jad's dad used to do only one thing here. He used to sit outside the house and always smoke cigarettes. But he had a purpose to do this. Now last night, an incident took place in this town. No one knows about it. The son of the man of this town went to fight in the war. His name was Timmy. But he didn't come out alive from there. His death came. His dad buried him in the ground. But in a little while, he comes back to life. And as soon as he came, he attacked his dog and killed him. Which means, now the one who came back to life is not Timmy, but the evil sent by the evil power, which now doesn't know what kind of destruction it was going to bring. That's why Jad's dad wanted him to leave this town, so that nothing wrong happens to him. The next day, Jad wants to buy some stuff, where a picture falls from his pocket. In the picture, there was Jad, Timmy, and his friend, who used to be a very good friend in childhood, but not anymore. Now Timmy's dad came here. Jad Russell came to buy raw meat to satisfy Timmy's hunger. He also tells Jad that Timmy has come back from the war, but now he is evil. He doesn't say this. Jad came home with the stuff. When the family was having dinner at night, Jad also tells his dad that Timmy has come back. The next day, the father and son go to watch ice skating for the last time. That is, to run on the ice where I was walking. Here Jad also sees his childhood friend, but they don't talk to each other. In the meantime, the mayor, sheriff, and an officer of the town come here, who looked very worried, that maybe they are being troubled by some tension. But when Jad came here, he said that we are happy for you, because you are the only one who is leaving this town. After which the next day, Jad and his wife said goodbye to his mom and dad. They sat in the car and left from here. But as soon as he started crossing the town, suddenly a crow came and hit his car, because of which the glass in front of his car broke, and so they could not get out of the town. They had to stop here. Now when both of them came out, Timmy's dog was sitting in front of their car, who was in a very bad condition. Because when Timmy came back evil, he had killed his dog. But later Timmy's dad also buried the dog in the ground, which is now alive, but turned evil. So now they decide to leave the dog on foot and come back, because the house was nearby. In which we saw Jed's friend and his sister, who make strange masks of various animals. All this was his own imagination. He was also going to leave this town after a few days, so that he could set up a store there to sell his masks. He also asked his brother to come with him, but he says that I will not be able to do this. So he refused to go. But soon he started hearing voices from the fields. When she went to check, she saw that there was a strange round shape in the sunflower flower, from which blood was also coming out. And this shape was exactly like that evil ground. Now Jed's friend went ahead to check, but then his foot got stuck in something. He goes down and falls, from which a sharp object crosses his hand. There Jed and his wife came to his house with Timmy's dog, where Timmy was standing inside the house in a strange way. Now suddenly the dog jumped and came, and he held Jed's wife's arms. He cuts badly. He was not leaving his arms. Jed was very scared to see this, and tells Timmy that what are you looking at standing inside? Come and remove the dog. But Timmy still did not come. After a long time, when he himself wanted, he came out. And now he fired a bullet, from which now the dog left his arms, and Timmy went inside with his dog. He did not even help them. So now Jed himself went to the hospital with his wife, from which it was decided that she could not leave the town for now. At least 3 to 4 days, because his wife had to stay in this hospital. Then when Jed came out of there, he met his childhood friend, who had come to get his hand bandaged. And now, after so many days, they talked to each other. They talked a lot. And also about this, that since Timmy has come back, his behavior has become very strange. But why? To know this, Jed came back to Timmy's house, where he sees a heart-wrenching scene, that Timmy has killed a pig, and cut him completely, whose flesh he was eating, and blood was dripping from his hands. He did not look less than a beast. Now Jed was scared at first, but with courage, when he started going to him, Timmy's dad came here. Looking at him, as Jed saw Timmy, he disappeared from here. Timmy's dad also does not tell him anything now. So now, to get answers to his questions, Jed comes to his house. He told his mom and dad about the whole situation, and started asking about it. Because he felt that everyone was hiding something from him. But his mom got up, and started going from here, whose legs we see the marks of the wound. It felt like someone was stabbed. So now Jed started asking his dad, "What is going on in the town? And why do you want to send me from here?" But his dad also did not give any answer. Timmy became so strange at home that now he started killing the mice, whom he was eating. And he was also writing the names of some of the families he would kill. And these are all the same people who are living here. The first one was Jat's family, the second was the mayor of the town, the third was the sheriff, the fourth was the officer. He was writing the names of the fifth family, which was Jat's friend and his sister. Now Timmy's skin was peeling off like a peel, which he tears off with his own hands and takes out his blood. And he makes an evil ground on these names, that after killing them, he will bury them there, because he was doing all this with the evil power and the evil inside him. Now Timmy first went to the officer, who was a female. He says strange things to her and scares her. She comes back and calls the mayor and tells him about this strange behavior of Timmy, on which the mayor understands that Timmy must have died. Whoever had buried him in that ground, now he has come back alive as an evil. Which has become like this, because everyone knew about that evil ground very well. So the mayor has a meeting to deal with all this. Now before this, the officer says something else. Suddenly Timmy's evil dog comes and attacks him. Jat's friend's party was going on, where Timmy also comes. Jat's friend and his sister happily says that you two are making a plan to leave the town, right? You won't be able to go. You will be killed in this town. Now the meeting that the mayor had held, in which the sheriff and Jat's dad had also come. After a while, that female officer too, who had dog's nails on his chest. Because when the dog attacked him, the officer killed him. And now we found out that these people are very brave and powerful. And for many years they have been protecting this town. Before this, their mom, dad, and the whole family used to do it. Now the dog was dead. Now only Timmy had to be killed. And she was talking about this. At night, when Jat was sleeping, he was getting dreams again and again. With whom his eyes open, his eyes went to the window. Where someone was standing, he got scared. Then he came out quickly to check. But there was no one there, just the ladder was kept near the window. He went further to check, where he finds the same picture of his childhood, in which all three of them were friends. But now in the picture, they were burned with cigarettes. He was seeing this picture when a truck passed by. Then Jat quickly went to the side and his hair saved his life. Anyway, now when he comes back home, he sees his friend, who was coming in through the window. And because he saw the gun in Jat's hand, he says in fear, it was actually Timmy, who was standing outside and keeping an eye on them. Now these two friends went to the church, because there they will get answers to their questions. Actually, the whole record was present in the church, about this town. But then Timmy went to Jat's friend's sister from behind. He went outside, put the knife in her stomach and crossed it. Now she also had a knife, which she hits Timmy on the arm and cuts, and quickly ran out of here. But Timmy catches her. And now he killed Jat's friend's sister, and he also goes and buries her in that evil ground. Now Jat and his friend come to the priest, who gives them the whole record, in which everything was written about the history of this town. According to this story goes back many years, where a man named Ludlow had come with his companions at this place, so that he could find a place to stay. Here, Ludlow also called his other companions, but until he came, Ludlow himself disappeared. he had no idea. When his companions came here, they found out that there is an evil ground here. When the residents left the town, often there are loud noises coming from the jungle. They did not know in their dreams what was the effect of this evil ground. Now, Ludlow's people finally came to the pet cemetery, but when they moved ahead, they finally reached the evil ground. There was a man who lived in this town, who belonged to a tribe. Now these people ask him about Ludlow, on whom he tells that he had died. Now I had also forbidden your companions, but they buried him in this evil ground. And now he is alive again and has returned as an evil, and he stayed here forever. Then we see Ludlow in the form of a beast, who was killing an animal with great pain and eating it. Now as a man came near him, Ludlow attacked him and tore him apart like that. And now he also tears it up and starts eating. Then he crossed the limits of the beast. He moved ahead to attack the rest. But they killed Ludlow. In his memory, the name of this town was kept as Ludlow, so that everyone could be told what you have to go through to bury the dead in the evil ground. So here we come to know that the evil ground is just like a stomach, like a mouth, which keeps eating people, but its hunger never dies. When it eats the bodies, then the sound comes from the jungle. This is the reason that the way was closed. In the record, the names of all those people who had settled this town were also written, and they buried Ludlow in this evil ground and awakened that evil power, because the same thing had started. Now these are all the same people whose names Timmy wrote in his book. It is obvious that Timmy was making them do the evil power, and the people whose names Timmy wrote, their families were actually with Ludlow. Now at that time, the evil power came inside Ludlow and could not kill them and their families. But now Timmy is making them do the same thing. Because years ago, their forefathers, that is, the elders of the family, were doing this, that is, stopping this evil power. But now instead of them, all these people were doing it, that is, Jatki Dad, mayor, sheriff, and officer. Because their elders were with Ludlow. They were doing this because whatever mistake their elders made, they wanted to bury Ludlow there and fix it. They wanted to fix all this. Now here Jatki Dad had an old diary that his dad gave him, and then his grandfather gave it to him, on which everything was written, how it started, and how it will end now. That is, this evil can be killed, but only by attacking his eyes. When Timmy's dad comes home, he sees that Timmy is killing a person badly and eating his flesh. Seeing this, he was realizing his mistake, that I should also finish it because now it has become dangerous. The judge came to his dad and said that now I also know about the history of this town. After hearing this, the judge's dad took him to the pet cemetery, where the sound of that evil power was coming from ahead. His dad says that your great-grandfather had blocked this way, so that no one can go there because this is like a disease that we have to stop. Now the judge's friend comes home and sees that the goods are being sold, and on the other hand, his sister is also not there because the team killed her and buried her in that evil ground, which is now alive, and went to the hospital where the judge's wife was kept. The judge's friend's sister's condition was very bad, which the nurse went to call the doctor, but she fell inside after killing the doctor. Seeing her condition, the judge's wife began to clean her feet, but her skin was peeling off like a skin, which the judge's wife went outside to call the doctor, where she found the doctor's dead body, whose neck was broken. Seeing this, the nurse was also very scared, but then she came and also stabbed the nurse in the stomach, whose blood falls on the judge's wife's face. Now by the time the judge came here, his friend's sister had taken his wife from here. Blood and body parts were lying on the ground, and there he saw the farm, his team's house. Seeing this, the judge quickly reached there where everyone had already come. The team's dad was also on their side because he had realized that my son has become so evil and dangerous that it is now necessary to kill him. And now he will also support them to kill his son. Their plan was that they will set fire to the house and kill Timmy. Now the mayor and the officer went to the other side of the house. The sheriff started throwing petrol outside while everyone else went inside the house. Now their job was to find the judge's wife, his friend's sister, and Timmy. When he was doing his work, Timmy saw the mayor. He pulled him up and killed him and finished the job. After which he came and attacked the officer and also killed him badly. After which he went to the sheriff and burned his body and took his life. And now he had set the house on fire. Inside the house, the judge and his friend face his sister. Because she was evil, she attacked her own brother and put a curse on his body. Seeing this, the judge was going to shoot his sister. But because she was his sister, he refused to shoot the judge. When the judge starts taking care of his friend. After throwing the gun, the bullet had to be fired on the judge's dad. the judge was seeing his friend's wound. That's when the judge starts saying this line. That is, sometimes dead is better. Meanwhile, the judge's friend's sister passed the gun to the judge's dad. And seeing this, the judge's friend shot his sister in the eye with the gun, which also killed her. But now the judge's dad was also killed. Now Timmy's dad came to Jad and his friend, who started taking them out of the basement. But they didn't know that Timmy was hiding there. Timmy had made many tunnels in the basement. When Jad started going inside one of them, he found his wife's locket there, which means that she is inside. But this was actually Timmy's trick, which they couldn't understand, and went straight into the tunnel. There was another tunnel inside, so the three got separated so that they could find Jad's wife. Now Timmy comes in front of Timmy's dad. Before that, he kills him. He remembers some moments of his childhood that he spent with him, because whoever he was his son, and he couldn't kill him. But Timmy attacks his dad and takes his life and runs away from here. He even tore his body. Now seeing this, Jad and his friend got scared and they quickly come out. But Jad's wife was still locked up there. Timmy had tied his hands and feet and kept him here, on top of which the mud was slowly falling. Because his mouth was closed, it was also difficult for him to breathe. Now, out of the tunnel, Timmy drags Jad's friend and takes him with him. And very cleverly, he lays a trap on the net. Now if he gets up or tries to run away from here, his body will break into pieces. Now Jad comes here and gives him a gun. And he goes behind Timmy himself, where he was also waiting for Jad to come in the water. As soon as Jad went near the lock, Timmy pulled him in and started hitting him in the water. Now seeing this, Jad's friend shot him with a gun. The bullet came and hit Timmy in the eye. And because evil can be killed by hitting in the eye, that's why he was finally killed here. And now Jad's wife also came along with Jad, who comes to Jad freely. They then freed Jad's friend from the trap. And now we see the time after a few days, where Jad and his wife started living in the same town, because now Jad took the place of Jad after his father's death. And now he sits outside instead of his father and smokes a cigarette, and he will now save this town himself. Now he didn't leave the town, but Jad's friend left, taking his sister's mask so that he could fulfill his sister's dream, going out of town and selling masks. But now Jad is ready to face every upcoming danger, where this time his wife will also support him, because he has already faced a lot of dangers. And with this story ends here.